In today's FX markets, let's take a look at the Australian dollar as it's realizing selling pressure for a second session. We're seeing it down now, trading at the low end of the recent range, the last 2 weeks, let's put it that way. And just holding just above there right now at 0.747. Now that's coming off an intraday high 3 sessions ago of 0.766, which corresponds with the highest level for the Australian dollar going back to June of 2021. So a 10-month high, basically. So it's just coming off a 10-month high, still at the upper end of the recent range. But when you look at the last couple of weeks, we are kind of pushing back down towards that 0.745 level, which is the low end of the last 2-week range. And I think when you look at some of the driving factors today, a couple of things. Number one, commodity prices coming off for a second session, or really for a couple of sessions now. We're seeing at least a slowing of the trend, if not a slight change in that trend. And I think that's one of the driving factors as, again, Australia benefits from exporting some minerals and particularly, some metals and things of that nature. And also we are seeing energy prices under some selling pressure. And I think just the general commodity space as a whole is under some pressure here. And I think that's playing into why we're seeing the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar under a little bit more selling pressure today than other currency markets. Now, when you look at just the general trends, we are seeing the dollar continue to push higher, and that's the other factor contributing to, I think, why we're seeing the weakness in the Australian dollar, as the narrative from the Fed continues to be much more hawkish, and it does appear that they are on target to move sooner rather than later, and also they are on target to reduce some of the accommodation in the markets that they've been providing for the last several years as far as liquidity. So I think, again, the dollar continues to push up to basically just under 2-year highs, and that's putting pressure across the board on the pairs trades versus a dollar. And then also we're seeing the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar losing ground to some of the other currencies today as well. So when you look at overall today, the euro under a little bit of pressure, down slightly. The Japanese yen down slightly. We're seeing the Swiss franc down slightly, the British pound down slightly, as well as the Canadian dollar. But more so, we're seeing a little bit more exacerbated selling pressure when you look at the Australian dollar today.